national anthem. Okute Bagotenu.
He's a very obedient man, so you obey. As Okute Ndibo. Appreciate you, welcome you, Your Excellency. Yeah, now yeah, you did. Thank you very much, sir.
You can't hide a light under a bushel. I don't know.
Please have a seat. Okay, national anthem now. Please, let's have national anthem and we proceed. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Peter Gregory Obi, former governor of Anambra State, and a distinguished Nigerian, cool, calm, and collected, and highly intelligent and highly informed. Biabogiri. Your Royal Majesty, Obi Abogidi, Alfred Achebe, Obi Abogidi, Obi of Furniture. The chief celebrant, Professor Pat Utomi, and of course, Professor Mrs. Utomi. Put your hands together for them. With due respect to the high chiefs here and the former military administrator of Abia State, Admiral Air Vice Marshal Ajobena Olorogun, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And of course, Chief Professor Leroy Edozian, the Palace of Royal Majesty Asaba of Asaba. With due respect to the former minister from Ghana, welcome you, sir. We appreciate all of you that have come here. I'd like to acknowledge before we start Chief Loretta Onochie, former chairman, NDDC. Madam, will welcome you. Thank you very much. May God bless you. And Frank Onwachi, a great Nigerian of South this country, a member of 1980 Africa Cup of Nations winner, and a true son of Ibuzo, will welcome you. Welcome you. Thank you so much. Engineer Dr. Pato Konji Onowu Ibuzo, will welcome you. We also appreciate Uwolo Amechi, Wenye Uwolo Ibuzo. Thank you so much. And at this point in time, we're kickstarting the program. Our professor has spoken. Would you respect Prince Uzed Idabo? We welcome you. Thank you so much. Of Nehru's Hotel International. We have had a welcome address, and of course, it's only proper consult with my elder, because we're supposed to kickstart and break down a few things, sir. Yes, when you consult with the elders, you will never make a mistake. So put your hands together. I'd like to welcome Chief Gabriel Engineer Gabriel Ubeche, Managing Director, Chairman, Rain Oil PLC. Put your hands together for him. We appreciate your presence. At this point in time, Your Excellency, distinguished personalities, give me great pleasure and utmost humility to hand over the microphone to a man, a father, a royal father with difference. The man has touched life, over 80 and looking 40. And blessed by Almighty God, by the special grace of Almighty Father, he is the royal father and king of Onitsha Adonidu. I'm talking about His Royal Majesty Obi Alfred Achebe, Obi Abogidi, Obi of Onitsha. Obi Abogidi, Igwe, Ekenemi, Una da akwụkwọ aka n'ebe a. Aha. A real father. I bow before you. Igwe. Igwe. Igwe.
Greetings, everybody. Your Excellency, our celebrants, and all the distinguished people here. Our friend from Ghana, you're welcome. Let me stand on the established protocol. I'll start by saying that I don't have much to say. First and foremost, we're all here because of Patrick Utomi. I call him Patrick. Okay. So call him Professor, other things, but I call him Patrick. We're here for him. And I don't think I can educate any of you about him because we are here because of him and we know about him. All I can say is that Patrick, to me, is a phenomenal human being. In every station of life that he has passed through, whether it's academia, public relations, the corporate world, politics, of a different kind. That's not the policies that we know in Nigeria, etc., etc. He's always pursued one thing: a better Nigeria, particularly for our younger ones, as he said, who are coming behind us, so that they don't experience whatever setbacks that we have experienced. So it's fit and proper that we honor him because he has worked so hard for the betterment of this country and for the betterment of all of us, especially younger ones. Until he spoke, I didn't know that the oil and gas value chain was going to be the theme or the focus of today's symposium. I have to confess that I retired from Shell formally in 1996, and they held me back till 2002 when my people called me back to take on this take on this uncomfortable uniform. So since 2002, I've turned my back on the oil industry, focused on tradition and on governance and matters of Nigeria. And Patrick and myself belong to a very small group that meets at 9 p.m. every Friday night. And we run till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. About the same thing. How do we build a better Nigeria? So today is our normal meeting. But I think I'm going to shelve it because of Patrick and all of that. Oil and gas value chain. The members of the panel are going to speak. They're going to educate us. But I'll tell you two stories, real stories involving me. When I was divisional manager in Port Harcourt, I went to a party, a birthday party. I met a young man, very young, and we got into a conversation. It was very brilliant. I mean, anything that came up, we spoke about it, and he impressed me very much. I said, "What's your background?" He said, "He read economics at UNN and Suka." I said, "I'd like to give you a job in Shell." He said, "No, sir." I said, "I can give you an employment on the spot. I'm the divisional manager, and you're impressing me." He said, "No, sir." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because the harvest is still on. And until the harvest is over, it's not letting go." I said, "What is the harvest?" He says, "The oil in the ground is the harvest. It's coming through. We're converting it into money, but the money is passing through majority of Nigerians, and nobody's anchoring it." I said, "Okay, what do you do for a living?" So I'm a hustler. So I'm a hustler. So what is hustling? He says, "Sir, if you want me to move this bottle of water from this position to that position, I'll do it if you pay me for it. And if you want to move it back tomorrow, I'll do it if you pay me for it." honest work. But his purpose was to anchor the money, because most of us in Nigeria, money was passing through us. And someday the harvest will be over, even though we keep discovering more oil and gas every day. But someday it's a finite resource which God put in the ground, blessed us all, in quotes, which we've not managed well. Also, the second story was at National Institute. And in our discussions, we maintained the Chatham House rules. But I think from 1979, I think the statute of limitation would have been exhausted by now. I was on the first set, and including Ibrahim Babangida, including Professor Omar Mori. You can make a connection now. You can see where some terrible things happened to this country. And the then Chief of General Staff, General Yar'Adua, came to lecture us. And during the question time, I said to him that I had the impression that the country is producing more oil and selling than our economy can absorb effectively the proceeds. Because of that, we have, by the way, it was 1979. In the 1977, we had Festac 77, we had the Scout Jamboree, we had everything that, that needed to spend money. Can we reduce the production of oil and gas to fall in line with the nation's ability to reasonably deploy the money for development? He said no. And I said, why? He said, because that's what the people want. The Prime Minister of Nigeria, technically speaking, that's what the people want. And when I wanted to engage him further, he cut me short. He says, I'm not taking any more discussions with you. So each time I think about the way the country is going, these stories come to my mind and all that. I don't have any solution, and I'll leave it to the panel to discuss. But it's a pleasure to be here. It's been a terrible 2 weeks for me, from Ahmadu Bello Zaria to Lagos and so on and so forth. But I thought I had to be here. In fact, it's against the doctor's order, but the doctors will understand. Thank you very much.
Fervent thanks to our royal father. Now we have a little treat for you, a documentary assessing and praising the feats of Professor Pat Utomi. Here it comes.
May the good Lord bless you. Sickness will never come again. In Jesus' name may I.
My darling husband, my sweetheart, my everything, the Odogu Paparazzi, as you celebrate your 70th birthday, with so much pride and joy.
Wishing you a happy 70th birthday. Wishing you all the many, many joys of this world.
Over the last 70 years, you have made impact on your community, on your nation, and indeed on the world as an intellectual, particularly in the economic development area.
One day I was talking to him when he was writing the book. I said, Pat, you know your problem is you have no interest in money. You have no interest in acquiring wealth. Your interest is making Nigeria a great country. And since you have no interest in acquiring wealth, if you have money today, it's by accident. Because your dream in life is not to be wealthy. Your dream in life is for Nigeria to be wealthy. And that's who he is.
What do you say to somebody who has seen it all, that has lived a remarkable life? I do wish him many, many more years.
I wish him God's blessings. I'll pray for him that the grace, that the treasure of God that is enjoying will not diminish. And I pray that the benefits of God that is enjoying will not stop in his life. I pray Almighty God will open heaven for him. I pray as he turns 70, God will enlarge his coast. and God will bless him tremendously.
Men and women go favor you. Amen.
I say, Prof, you are our papa with the pamper. Let our God pamper him. Him, the wife, the children, none of them will be found wanted. Long life and prosperity.
My wish for you, Professor Otomi, is that in your lifetime, you're able to see the Nigeria of your dream.
I'm happy that God has kept and sustained you to this day, 70 years. Pray that God would continue to keep and sustain you.
Continue to do what you believe best. You symbolize the truth we need in leadership. May God always bless you.
I want him to have good health, long life, and he makes beautiful children. I want him to have one more child. One more child, he makes beautiful kids. I love his kids. One more.
May God prolong your life to continue to do what you have done. For me, you are a wonderful man. Except that you still owe me pounded yam. And until you give me that pounded yam, we will not have celebrated your birthday. Make sure that my pounded yam is ready for your birthday. Otherwise, I won't die until I get my pounded yam from you.
My prayer is that you have long life, in good health, and that you live to see your children's children, and that you continue to be happy and be a fulfilled person. In Jesus' name.
Many happy returns of the day.
Many more years of good health, ability to read a zillion more books, and the peace and joy of a life surrounded by people who love and cherish you. I wish you so much happiness, good health, all your aspirations will come to pass, and that indeed your joy will be full on this landmark anniversary.
The angels of God will always be for him and the family. Wishing him the best of the best. I pray that God will give him testimony, landmark testimonies, and God will answer all his prayer in the name of Jesus.
As Prof turns 70 on February 6th, I would like to wish him a very happy birthday.
I wish you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Once again, happy birthday and many happy returns.
It will be a wonderful celebration. Happy birthday.
You're always calling me, Oka Umatani. Well, now, Oka Parolomi. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Whether it's Bafo or Bethel, happy birthday.
Always stay with you. You will grow to see your children and
Put it on.
Sorry for the awkwardness. At the express request of Professor Utomi, we'll have a man of unquestionable piety, Deacon Chris Iyowaye, to share his insights. Deacon, we await your presence.
Thank you. His Excellencies, our royal fathers, and our most distinguished guests here present and seated, and of course, the celebrant, a great icon of our great nation. We celebrate you, sir. I will say God will continue to keep you for more years to come. The impact that you have made, you have touched lives everywhere, the testimonies we can see everywhere. May the Lord God continue to bless you, sir. Quickly, I just have the few minutes that I have to share something about my organization that I work for. I remember a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting with Prof in his house and he said, look, I've been doing this colloquium in Lagos, and I've been privileged, to attend a few of them, particularly the one of last year. Always packed full. But said, now that I'm 70, I want to go back home. I want to see that the youthful population in the area are impacted. And I want to bring a few of you that has been part of that oil and gas value chain to tell us your story. And that's why I am here today. By the special grace of God, I was also introduced to, before I take off, to Professor Patutomi by Air Vice Marshal Jubena, my big uncle here seated about 4 years ago. Imagine how time flies. He is here, and Air Vice Marshal Jubena is also here. Welcome, sir. I'd like for us to put up those slides as I take us in a small journey in the few minutes that I have to just share my story and to try as much as we can to inspire the young people, because that's the essence of the whole thing, the oil and gas value chain, to be able to express, what we have done and the things that we have handled in that space. Are we there? Well, while they are struggling with that, I would like to say that I'm the managing director of a company called Wellman. Wellman is a group that, we support the oil and gas value chain, as it were. And we represent what you can call starting from small. The group is not a group that you put shareholders together and said, let's put money together and build. No. It started with complete zero capital. Zero capital. And what I'm about to share with you today is now a market leader in the entire continent of Africa. Starting small. That's the thing that is missing when it comes to our young people today. No one wants to start small. Everyone wants to start at the top. And when there's a small income, they want to tell you, they have arrived. So that's the things I want to share with you. How to start small in the oil and gas value chain. How we did it. How we arrived where we are. Now, we support the oil and gas in terms of marine movement and heavy lift. The single largest structure ever moved and lifted in Nigeria and the entire Gulf of Guinea was moved by this small company. Just to tell you, for those of us who can play with tonnages, you know how 1 ton can be. The structure I'm telling you about, you will see it when the slides come on, is 3,800 tons. It's the single largest structure ever moved in Nigerian history and the entire Gulf of Guinea. And we continue to do that across the value chain. Today, what we have built is impossible to move such structures without first coming to talk to us. It's almost impossible. I don't know why we're struggling with the slides to come on. The Dangote refinery and the fertilizer company, when it was to be built, they had 69 structures at the port. 69. They didn't know how to take it to site until we came. And I told them that there's capacity in country to deliver the 69 structures. They said, no, it's not. They don't think they have consulted everywhere. They have consulted everywhere. And I said, okay, to prove to you, I'm going to do a demo at my cost. Should we try and we don't make it, let that cost go. And Mr. Dangote, he was supposed to be here. I was hoping he was going to be here today. He sent an American and an Indian to come with me on the journey. And we undertook that journey from morning till the evening. While we undertook that experiment, there were problems. But I told them that engineering is about looking for solutions. It's not that there's not going to be problems. There will be problems, but they will be surmounted. And that's what happened. To cut a long story short, Mr. Dangote gave me the opportunity. I think before then, the cheapest quote he got was about $27 million. We did that for almost half of that value. All 69 structures delivered to site. And Mr. Dangote has the video everywhere. We're looking for solution abroad. We didn't know that there's a company that is located in Warri that can deliver it. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that in the oil and gas business, there's a huge opportunity for our people, but they are not aware. That's why about a month ago, precisely in November, I put this whole experience, a compendium of my works, I put them together in a book, which was launched in Abuja, which is titled The Treasures, the Hidden Treasures in the Niger Delta. I tell you for free, in the oil and gas business, they tell you, nothing is happening. No, sir. Things are happening there. But those things that are happening there, it is the people who come from outside that are taking advantage of it. And it behoves of people like us to be able to show what is available in that space. A lot is available. There are some you may just sit in the comfort of your home, know what it is, and begin to rake in what is rightfully ours, what is rightfully our heritage. That's what I wanted to come and share with us and our young people, that all hope is not lost. For some of us who have tried it, we have seen the dividend of what can happen, particularly in the oil and gas value chain, which Prof wants us to see, an exposition of what is possible. For want of time, I would just want you to go through the slides quickly. Go through the slides quickly. We don't want to bore everyone. This gives you everything. Please just keep going until I want to get to the photographs. Until you get to, these are stories for another day. We don't have the time. Please just keep going, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Until I tell you to stop. Just keep going, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. That's it, stop. This is a winch. This is a winch. We bought this winch second-hand in Port Harcourt. Please go on. This is a pump. We bought this pump second-hand in Warri. In this pump, we had to put it together. The pump element and the engine element. It was coupled together in Warri. Please go ahead. I just want to share so that I can inspire one or two youths that are seated here today. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Just keep going until I tell you to stop. Now, you saw the winch that I showed you. This is the new winch that replaced that one that we bought brand new from America. I'm just trying to take you through the process. The next slide, please. You saw the pump as well, that old pump. This is the brand new pumps that we bought from the UK to replace that one. What I'm simply saying, sir, everything that came as a business went back into the business. Went back right into the business. Please go. Now we have most pumps, we can cause a tsunami anywhere we enter. We can tsunami any place by reason of the capacity that we have built. Please go ahead. Now, we work with badges. We work with badges. The smallest of our badges is 4,000 tons. These badges were built brand new from China. The one under, at the touch of a button, it can be submersed. You just keep going there and we can pick what we want to pick. That is 7,000 tons. So I want to just make it available to our young people that this is what is possible. What we represent what is possible in our area and in our time. Please go on. These are called self-propelled modular trailers with which we pick structures. Self-propelled modular, at a time when you want to get involved with self-propelled modular trailers, you have to wait for Panapina. But we came to break that record. We came to break it completely. Now we have the largest fleet. We have 140 axles of these items in country. I doubt in our last check if there's anybody with that kind of fleet in Africa. All this was built by the resources that accrued from the oil and gas value chain. Please go ahead. This is when we take our first 36 axle lines from France. Please go ahead. Go ahead, please. This structure was built, and we moved this structure out of Niger Dock. It is for Total. So now these structures are being built across the entire oil and gas value chain in Nigeria. These are the things we move. We move abnormal loads. We are not interested in loads that are not abnormal. We are only interested in abnormal loads. Like this is a typical abnormal load. Please go ahead. As I bring, this is another structure for Chevron. Now you can see what is happening here. This is the modular trailers. You have 4 files, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these structures are the one moving this structure from where they were built in Niger Dock. Now those trailers are remotely controlled. When we started acquiring these remote control trailers, every time we want to move them, you will have at least 3 expatriates coming from abroad because the expertise is not in country. What I did, we trained 6 Nigerians to France. Today, when we use these trailers, everyone there is a Nigerian. Please go ahead. This is a living quarter for Total, also built in Niger Dock. It's 1,600 tons. Please go ahead. You can see the trailers. You can see our trailers on duty. This is a 1,000 tonner for ExxonMobil. Please go ahead. This is also for the USAN FPSO project. Please go ahead for Total. Please go ahead. We are doing, please can you go back to the past slide? We are doing weighing here. Now we have a capacity to weigh any structure. Today we have a capacity to weigh as much as 15,000 tons. This is one jack that we have. This jack weighs just one jack, 500 tons. These are capacities that were built in country. You don't need, otherwise in time before you need to go and get somebody from abroad. But that cycle has been broken, by just starting a small business. Please go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, please. Just keep going. Let me take one more slide. Keep going. Oh, sorry. I'll just take this. I'll take this. This is called the OVO concrete badge. I'm sure of Avuru. Thank God we are connecting to this. I know this is your structure. Are you getting what I'm saying, sir? This structure is the most challenging structure we have ever had to deal with as an organization, sir. Now, they brought it from America for Shell. And the people who brought it with a semi-sub said they can only deliver it in Bonny. That Warri is too risky, that they won't come there. So they took it to Bonny, and then Wellman was contracted to move it from Bonny here. It's a 4,500 ton structure. It's massive. It's a floating flow station. It's massive. Now we had to bring it on that convoy. We had tugboats. We have to take off security, 6 gunboats. We have, a houseboat. Anywhere we get to, we sleep. Anywhere we get to, we sleep. Assigned to deliver it in 25 days, but it was delivered in 50 days because of the challenges we had. Very challenging. But I don't know, I'm sure Avro is here, he will tell us, the structure is still where we kept it. And I don't know why. I'm sure he'll be able to tell us. The structure is still there. And this is 2009. 2009. Please go ahead. This is for Dangote. This is our smallest barge, the River Nelson, and our tugboats, taking this for Mr. Dangote on the refinery construction. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. You can see our team. Now you can see when we were moving those items for Dangote, Dangote didn't have the ocean jetty like it has now. We had to go through the Third Mainland Bridge, Carter Bridge, and Echo Bridge. I think this is Echo Bridge. Echo Bridge is the lowest of them. Now, if you look at this structure, the diameter of this structure, some of them is like 9.5 meters. Now, from the top of the water to here, maybe like 5.1 meter. How do you put this on a barge and go through it? Practically impossible, if not for engineering. So what we did at that time is to submerge this barge to almost here. Then some of these structures are sitting in the stool. We take them out, let it sit under the barge, sit on top of the barge. We just go through this bridge with a whiskers. A whiskers. That's how all 69 structures I told you about were safely delivered to Mr. Dangote. Please, go ahead, sir. These are the deliveries we're making week after week to add value in the value chain of the oil and gas business in Nigeria. These are the values. Please, just one more slide. I just want to, all right, one more. Please go ahead. Go ahead. All these are for Mr. Go ahead. Sir, please quickly, sir, come back to that slide. This one. Now we took this thing from my papa, went through Third Mainland, came out at Ekpe, came to our yard. We came to our yard at Ekpe. Now this structure was with us for almost 4 months because they said we are going to destroy all those bridges. You know, if you are coming from Ekpe, from those of us, you know, those bridges are decompiled. They are bridges. They said we are going to destroy them. And they consulted Julius Berger, who built it. Julius Berger said they shouldn't try it. That this bridge, this structure, 400 tonner, we destroy those bridges. We told them no. It has been engineered. With our trailers, you can actually distribute this load along the axles. That even a small truck carrying sand is even heavier than this. And the day which was a lot of storm. But at the end of the day, they came, LASMA came, everybody, the structures. This is the ammonia converter. It was safely delivered. Please, one more slide. I want to show you the largest. Just one more before. Just one more. One more, please. That's it. This is the single largest structure. I will stop here. The single largest structure ever built, ever transported from land to a barge and delivered to site for integration. This is the value we bring to this oil and gas supply value chain. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. I'll put your hands together for him. You have done so well. Your Excellency, distinguished with special respect to His Royal Highness, distinguished personalities. One more time, let's put our hands together for him. On a lighter note, sir, he didn't tell us whether he contacted Tom Polo before he started moving it in the thing. You know, contact Tom Polo. Egberi Papa, uncle. He tell Egberi Papa. Thank you very much. Yes, at this point in time, we'd like to constitute the panel with due respect and honor to His Excellency and distinguished personalities here. I'd like to let you know that Chief Dr. Lemon Ikpia, CON, FCNC, is online for this discussion. So without much time, please, I'd like to call on the panel. I'd like to call on Dr. Austin Avuru, my dear brother, Benel Ajay. Please step forward, please. Take your seat. Take your seat. Because want of time, if I start telling you CV, you won't leave here. No. I'd like to call on my dear brother and friend of time immemorial. I'm talking about Dr. Gabriel Obeche, founder, CMD, Rain Oil PLC. Put your hands together for him. Take a seat, sir. Anyone you choose. As long as it's raining oil there, you can sit. I didn't tell you that Chief Austin Avro is the chairman, AA Holdings Limited. And now I'd like to call on Deacon Chris Yowaye, MD, CEO, Wellman Group of Companies. So I'll put your hands together for Deacon Chris. Deacon Chris, please take your seat. And while yes, I believe I believe that I considered, but Mr. Alfred Akogu, that's the founder, CMD Ako Group PLC, is online. And of course, Kasmai Madukokwa, also online. Thank you very much. Please, we put our hands together for Israel Majesty. We rise. Rise. His Royal Highness stepping out. Please, let's give him that respect. I didn't know he was stepping out. Thank you very much. May God bless all of you in Jesus' name. Then you can have your seat. Please be seated. At this point in time, I'd like to hand over the microphone to the moderator of this panel, none other the chief celebrant, Professor Pat Utomi. I make both to so quintessential Professor Pat Utomi. Sir.
Well, thank you so very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Two quick issues where we're going to be like running through this because we've lost a lot of time. We have another program starting in less than 30 minutes in Ibuzo and it's church. So we're going to proceed. I'd like to invite the Honorable Alan Chairman 10 to please just join us and we'll take some, so we can draw from the Ghanaian experience. We've got a very formidable panel. I'd like to start from the top of the stream and we'll work our way down. We know that Austin Avuru has been a major player, starting out as a geologist and moving through a lot. His CV is in the brochure, so you'll see it. I just want Austin to give us a sense for what inspired him and how young people can see opportunity in oil and gas and what is his current state of play in Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Let me, I will start with the first story that Agbogidi told and the lessons from the Wellman Group. You know, it's been 70 years since our first discovery of oil in Nigeria. And it's been 68 years.
Oil came with me.
Yes. And it's been 68 years since we started producing oil. And Agbogidi said, that young man said the harvest was not over, that the oil was flowing, that the revenues were flowing outside of Nigeria. So for 68 years, we have had production of oil and gas as a resource, as raw material. That raw material has been flowing outside of Nigeria to create energy security for other nations. So those nations have industrialized using the resource, this raw material that they took from here. And what we were collecting these 68 years was rent. I'll use a very, very simplified example in the village to illustrate this. You find a prosperous farmer with 4 wives and 22 children. He has large swaths of farms because he has a large population. Both his children and him, they have several barns of yam. The wives, some are trading, some are farming tomatoes and so on. At the end of every year, the totality of their harvest, which means all of the human resource in his home that was applied into turning the ground to yam and tomatoes and everything they sell, that is the GDP of that family. In the simplest form, that's the definition of GDP. So if you do not apply your population to transform your natural resources into value, you are only collecting rent. Which is why for 68 years, in spite of all the value out of oil and gas, it has only accounted for between 7 and 11% of our GDP. You would have thought it will account for about 50–60% of our GDP. So what have we failed to do and why have we created poverty with our oil and gas? We have sent our oil and gas to develop other economies, to industrialize other economies. Until about 2010, the total consumption of natural gas in Nigeria was 300 million scf a day. It's not enough to generate enough electricity for Delta State alone. It's only with the coming of indigenous players that domestic gas consumption has gone up to 1.8 BCF a day today. Is expected to go to between 4 and 5 BCF a day to really make sense in terms of natural gas being a mover of growth in the economy. It has taken us all of 68 years for us to now attempt to refine half of the crude that we produce. That is value add in the upstream. What Wellman has demonstrated is value add in the services sector. So if we had added values, that is, use the service sector domestic expertise to transform this resource, raw material, which is natural gas and crude oil, into value. And then, my friend Ugechi, in the downstream, we make sure that instead of we distribute it, including exporting what we produce from these resources. These resources that we have been endowed with, we have created the wealth and engaged all the people, the young population, in such a way that unemployment will be minimal, poverty will be minimal, and then what you see will be prosperity. That is beginning to happen. Maybe it's late in the day, because now you are seeing indigenous companies coming and we have nowhere else to go. So we have to turn the resources into value here just to survive. And, Mr. Obi just left. You can see that transforming an economy into a wealthy one ought not to be complicated. It must be such that the population is engaged to transform existing resources into value and wealth. It's as simple as that. Any other thing you are doing that does not create the opportunity for your human population to go to work and transform resources to wealth, you are creating poverty. Unfortunately, successive governments have captured these resources and the rents that come out of the resources. And so governance in the past 60 years has been about how to distribute this captured wealth, captured rent actually, how to distribute it and use it as a vehicle for further elections and elections and elections. And none of them has bothered to say, how do we transform this resource into wealth for everybody? So all the struggle today is about how to get in the corridors of power, seize this rent, and use it to your advantage and to the advantage of a few people around you. And therefore, for 68 years, we have created poverty instead of wealth. Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic. I hope we begin to get a sense of where we are and what has got us where we are. Well, let me move to midstream. I don't know, the technology people, is Alfred Okoigu able to speak to us right now? Is he? We don't want to lose any time at all. If he's not, then we'll go downstream. Because I want to go from upstream to midstream, then downstream. Is he ready? Is he? Okay, let me go to Gabriel Ogbechi, who is, again, proof positive that when people focus their minds on building, they can create significant value. And he's done this in the downstream sector. So that they don't get confused when I say upstream, midstream, downstream, and all of that. What is downstream, and how do you create value, and how can young people see opportunity downstream?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, happy birthday, Professor Pato Tommy. Put it very simple. Downstream is that sector of the Nigeria oil and gas industry that deals with refined petroleum products. So if you're dealing with petrol, if you're dealing with diesel, if you're dealing with kerosene, if you're dealing with aviation fuel, if you're dealing with lubricants or base oil, that is downstream. Upstream is that portion that deals with crude oil, and then midstream is anything in between, especially the refining process. When you come to downstream, of course, there are a lot of opportunities. I tell people that one of the best businesses you can get into is business that gives you daily cash flow. Petrol is one of them. Everybody that came in here today came through mobility, whether it's a car, whether it's a cycle, you moved, and that's whatever brought you here was powered. One good thing is that you buy petrol, you put it in your car, you move for 2-3 days, you burn it off, and then you go and buy another one. So that opportunity is always there. But let me take it from where my brother Austin Avuru has talked about, which is value addition over the last 70 years since we discovered oil in the country. Of course, when crude oil was found in this country, I started producing crude oil 68 years ago. It was the IOCs, the international companies, who discovered this oil and who started the production. And the same thing happened in downstream. In downstream, when downstream started, we had the IOCs, we had the Essos of this world, we had the British Petroleum of this world, we had the Mobiles of this world. These were the people who were the Shells of this world. These were the people who were controlling the downstream sector. But one good thing is that in the last 30 years, Nigerians, just like us, saw opportunity in this sector and started investing. I have been in this sector now for about 34 years. I mean, I came into downstream in 1992. And between 1992 and now, I have seen a lot of transformation in terms of Nigerians taking advantage of the opportunities in this sector to actually invest and take control. If you go back 30 plus years ago, the companies that were controlling the downstream in this country, you had Shell, which later transformed to National Oil. You had British Petroleum, which later transformed to African Petroleum. You had Mobil, you had Total, you had Texaco, you had, which other one now? They were the companies that were controlling the downstream. But Nigerians have stepped forward. Of course, let me take it one by one. British Petroleum became African Petroleum. Later, Nigerians bought it over and it became Forte Oil. And today, that company is called Adova, owned 100% by a Nigerian. You had National Oil, which became Corn Oil, and today is owned by a Nigerian. You had, in fact, as a matter of fact, the only IOC that is still playing in the downstream sector is Total. So from a sector that was controlled largely by the expatriates, they've all largely exited. And then on the other side, the indigenous players also started investing. The companies like Rain Oil, AYM Shafa, AA Rano started coming in aggressively into this sector. So much so that today, if you rank the top downstream companies in Nigeria, Nigerians actually control the bulk of that sector. And we must give ourselves a lot of credit. The major marketers today in the downstream sector are largely Nigerian companies, Rain Oils of this world, AYM Shafa, Adova. These are the people who are controlling this sector. And I am happy, just digressing a little bit, I see that also beginning to play in the upstream sector. I mean, I see what my friend and my brother here have done. I mean, when they took over the Shell assets, which today has become Seplat, I see what Renaissance is doing in that space. So we can see a lot of Nigerian companies also beginning to take advantage in the upstream sector. Because by and large, Nigerians need to take control of our oil and gas sector, whether it's upstream, whether it's midstream, and whether it is downstream. I mean, listening to Austin Avuru, talking about value addition, he said something that it took us God knows how many years that for us to even begin to refine or convert just 50% of our crude oil production into some form of value addition. Today, thankfully, we have the Dangote refinery refining 650,000 barrels of crude per day. That is value addition. So instead of exporting the crude as crude oil, you refine it and get petrol, diesel, jet fuel, all the petrochemicals that come out of it, all the fertilizer inputs that come out of it. So you are no longer exporting the raw material, but we are getting a lot of value out of it. So I really want to encourage Nigerians, the young ones who are coming, to take advantage in this sector as a whole. Of course, starting from downstream, which is the lowest hanging fruit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gabriel. I have to apologize that we are rushing for such a very important conversation. But let us get the experience of Ghana. I mean, we thought Ghana would overcome many of the problems Nigeria had and, you know, leapfrog. But we have not quite gotten information on how things have gone in Ghana.
Thank you very much, Pat. You are talking about a 70-year history of oil and gas industry in Ghana, in Nigeria. Ghana discovered oil around 2007. So we cannot be preaching. By chance. And the role of government is the most important. It is government's own determination to transfer the benefits to the indigenous people that will guarantee that transfer. And for that to happen, a number of things must occur. One is legislation. If you don't have local content legislation, it's not going to happen.
Yes, it took us 50 years to pass our AI.
But that is the starting point.
Yes.
Is the legislation that will ensure that it occurs. Number two, the government has to provide funding support. You see, if you give a license, a oil block, to a foreign company, he uses that license to go and borrow. To come and invest. They don't use their own money. So you can give the same licenses to indigenous entrepreneurs. They will use the license to go and borrow, and then they can participate in the upstream. The third component is technical services and construction. Again, it's through local content legislation that would enable indigenous Ghanaians, Nigerians to be able to take advantage of a whole range of technicals. You are talking about high-level skills, but even welding, specialized welding alone can bring millions of benefits to jobs to Nigerians and Ghanaians. So I want to ensure that we look at the government's role in this regard. It's the same thing when you come to midstream value addition. It is government's policy to encourage value addition that will make this happen. And downstream is the same thing.
Thank you. I'll just take what you're saying and come back actually to Austin. As you know, I ran a series on policy making in the country for many years, and I think you participated in some of them. The Nigeria History series in the oil and gas bit. Funchok Woloku was a participant in them. I'd like to give Funchok Woloku a lot of credit for the rise of indigenous participation. Is my judgment wrong? What do you think? How did we evolve?
No, you're right. He has a lot of credit. He was under his administration that the marginal field program started when he became TA. He started that program in 2002, and a number of those marginal field companies are the ones that have transformed, as Gabriel was saying, into the Seplat and Renaissance of this world. And also earlier than that, the policy paper that gave rise to the Nigerian content law and setting up the Nigerian Content Board also started under his regime. So you're right. So once the policy framework is in place and we're disciplined enough to follow it, then you start to create this whole generation of entrepreneurs that will take over from those who were simply collecting these resources and paying rent to us. But look, it is very difficult when you have had several levels and generations of government that have lived the luxury of entrapping this rent and using it to dole out favors whichever way they want. To ask those same governments to turn around and live the luxury of this entrapped rent and actually create real entrepreneurship that will convert resources to value, it takes a lot of discipline. You can see how long it has taken us to try to transfer the refineries into the private sector. Because we've been entrapped with holding on to them, whether they work or not. It took the withdrawal of multinationals for the rain oils and others to step into that space and create value. So yes, government policy and government push is absolutely required. Unfortunately, that inertia to transfer these resources into private, real entrepreneurs that can create value, you won't find that inertia because of what I've described as the trappings of power. And the trappings of power require that these resources and rents remain in the powers, the political space. So it is hard to wrestle, and thanks to Nigerian entrepreneurs, in spite of, and not because of government, we are wrestling these things and these portions of the industry out of government and doing our best to create value.
Well, thank you. I have to really go now, but I wanted to get Gabriel to give us an insight into what kinds of investment and what kinds of tracks we can travel to be able to be players in niches within the downstream. Because there are downstream niches besides whole value companies, say like yours. What are some of the areas that, if you want to start small, the way that Deacon Chris was saying, where could you go into in downstream and begin to do some small things, and you're diligent enough, you can grow?
Well, the good thing about downstream is that the barrier to entry is much lower. The barrier to entry is much lower. And to break it down very simply, you know, something as simple as just peddling diesel, just delivering diesel to homes, 500 liters here, 1,000 liters here. You're playing in the downstream space, and it's a very low level of entry. Building one petrol station in one local community, it won't cost an arm and a leg. You're playing in the downstream sector. So the good thing is then from whatever point you enter, then you can begin to scale from there. I tell people that when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's not really a matter of until you can come with a bang, that's when you can play. No, just start from your little corner. And downstream is one sector that gives you that opportunity. Once you come in, again, I will emphasize this. Nigeria consumes minimum 50 million liters of petrol every day. 50 million liters of, Nigeria consumes 50 million liters of petrol, about 12 to 14 million liters of diesel every day. Nigerians spend 60 billion billion naira every day on petroleum products. I repeat, 60 billion naira every day. So what it means is that every day when you wake up, money actually begins to flow in the downstream sector. So if you want to play, just come out of your house and plug into it. It doesn't matter how much of that comes to you. Some people may end up with 3 billion naira a day slice of that 60 billion. You may just be looking for 5 million naira slice out of that 60 billion. But the most important thing, just do something. Decide what you want to do and do it. Come in and play. The opportunities are there. And by the grace of God, with diligence, with consistency, with hard work, and with tenacity, a couple of years down the line, you may become the biggest player in that sector. Thank you.
Thank you. As we close, I think I must get Deacon Chris to say one word. You have to find financing somehow. You know, yes, you grew significantly, you know, organically. But when you needed finance, how did you manage? What was the best thrust?
Thank you, Prof. Now, that is one teaching issue across the board, across industries. You know, starting, it becomes, where are we going to get financing from? But our own model was quite different. Like we started, you know, peddling, you know, when the Dan mentioned that, peddling diesel and to get some license and being agents, you know, to other big players, and then making some money. Now, it is from the money we made. We never went to any bank or to go and put money together. It is the financial discipline of having that resources that came. We applied that back into the business. That's how we got our funding. I'll tell you, most of all those equipment you see that I was displaying, they were bought from cash flow. We have ever gone to the bank maybe about 3 times. So it is financial discipline. But as a young man or a young woman out there, resources are coming in. That's when you want to get a new car. That's when you want to live in a duplex. That's when you want to change your wardrobe. That's when you want to get a new wife. That's, you know, the list is endless. You know, so it's managing those resources.
Discipline central. We have too much talent to waste hearing more from. But there are bishops who were getting very upset with me. Those have started saying mass about some minutes ago. So I will allow the MC to moderate some question and answer from this while I dash, and we can. I say thank you so very much, and I appreciate what you have done.
Thank
so
you.
Please, yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you. Thank you.
Please.
This meeting is being
the
recorded.
duty of cutting the cake. Your attention.
Yes. You cut the cake. Please bring the cake
There's
here.
a knife there.
You cut the cake before you leave.
And
I know the bishops are waiting, the priests, for the
Come on,
mass.
people, family
But is there
members,
need for us to cut the cake?
come and assist him.
I'd like to recognize Dr. Yunus Otanko, Obedient Movement Global Coordinator. We appreciate you. Prince Yemi Emiko, Shakiri Prince, part of the palace. Appreciate you. The Emiko dynasty.
There's no time.
Please, while you're bringing the
Prof
cake,
is here.
I recognize National
Whoever family member
Woman Leader ADC, Honorable Mrs. Naomi Lasara Abel. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. National Deputy Director, INEC Affairs, Honorable Musa Bakari, ADC, welcome you.
Yeah, please. Attention.
Assistant National Youth Leader, Honorable Hassana Shuaibu Dada,
Sorry, the
ADC.
celebrant
Thank you very much. Welcome all of you.
is about to cut the cake. He hasn't time to spare. Attention now, no rigmarole. 70 years of glory, splendid man, professor, management consultant, advisor to the president at 27, man of many facets. Happy birthday. Go! Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. Photograph with the panelists. Photograph with the please. Photograph with the panelists.
Photograph with the panelists.
Yeah, photograph with the panelists.
Happy birthday, that is all I can say. I wish you many, many
Ubweshi Nukalana, please come over and join them. Ubweshi Nukalana, the owner of this facility, please join them for the cutting of cake. The owner of this place, Ubweshi Nukalana, please come. Lower the music, lower the music, lower the music. Please join them. Lower the music. Thank you very much. Okay, one more time. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit, say amen. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We have his friend from the US who's going to take pictures with him.
It's your mommy here. Oh yeah. It's your daddy here. Oh yeah. Are your friends here? Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Igbo just in front. Take a photograph, please. Quickly. Is in a hurry. Please, in a hurry. Igbo Justice Forum, please join him.
Yes, close friends from the US, please. Join them. Doctor, join them, sir. For ready. Ready, please. All right, sir. Don't worry with sir. All right, sir. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Happy birthday. That is all I can say. I wish you many happy returns.
Thank you. Yes, we do now.
Say happy birthday. Today na your day, do shakara. If they try, them go fall yakata. Today na your day, do shakara. T-shirt day dia. Oh yeah. Go your day ya. Oh yeah. Efe day dia. Oh yeah. Go feed day ya. Oh yeah. Ajua day dia. Oh yeah. Adesuwa day ya. Oh yeah. Also.